Have you ever faced rejection, whether from a date or a job, and felt that deep, cutting pain that comes with being turned down? I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can move past that feeling. You can come back from rejection even stronger, more resilient, and better than ever before. Not only is this achievable, but many successful people do it all the time. In this video, I'm going to share exactly how you can do the same. It all begins with your mindset because, at its core, rejection isn't just external, it's a mental game. Whether you see yourself as a winner or a loser starts in your mind. And since it's mental, the good news is you have the power to change it. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is that while you can't always control what others think, you do control your own reactions and internal state. So if someone or some circumstance rejects you, remember that it's not entirely up to you. It might not be a reflection on your worth, but how you choose to respond to that rejection. That's entirely in your hands. It's often easy to forget, but you possess the specific emotional control necessary to respond calmly and consciously to whatever happens. Seriously, who has more influence over your feelings than you? That's what makes rejection something you can choose to reject back. And as the ruler of your own mind, you should decide to turn rejection in your favor. Refuse to let it define you. If someone says you're not the right fit for them, don't dwell on it. Instead, remember that everyone makes poor decisions sometimes. Just think about all the bad decisions happening around you right this very moment. Someone's about to get behind a wheel after drinking too much. Someone else is risking money they can't afford to lose on a bet. The list goes on forever. So, if someone in your circle makes a bad call about you, is it really that surprising? Bad decisions happen all the time. Take a moment to feel a little empathy for their mistake, then let it go. You don't have to hurt yourself carrying the pain of someone else's bad judgment. Like Epictetus said, no one can hurt you without your permission. The same applies to job opportunities. These days, most job interviews happen virtually, often without any genuine human contact, which can lead to more mistakes. It's usually more about their process than about you personally. Remember, you're not the only fish in the sea. There are thousands, if not millions, of potential partners or opportunities out there waiting for you. If one opportunity doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. There are plenty of others, and what truly matters is that you keep pressing forward until you find the right fit. The outcome isn't what defines you. Your effort is what counts. Keep hustling until the opportunity that's right for you appears. As Stoics, we have a straightforward attitude. Life is tough, and you need mental toughness to get through it. You can start by fighting off negative emotions with your thoughts and by building good habits. Imagine you've got that little voice in your head telling you to keep trying, but you keep losing. That voice might make you lose motivation or even give up. So, what should you do about it? First, examine that voice critically. Remember, mastering anything requires repetition. Ask yourself, how many times have I actually tried? If the answer's not many, then you're just getting started. You can't expect to start fresh at something and immediately excel. Becoming skilled takes time and patience. So, be okay with that process. Another thing to consider is whether you're measuring yourself against others unfairly. Seneca warned us about the trap of defining self-worth through comparisons. Ranking ourselves relative to others is a dangerous game. If your happiness depends on being better than someone else, then your well-being is hostage to factors you can't always control. There will always be someone more talented, and circumstances can change in an instant. Instead, aim to improve your own performance over your past self. Be honest and fair to yourself. Your only true competition is you. Also, keep in mind that those who have been doing something longer will likely be better at it, so practice is essential for you to grow, too. Be mentally prepared for that reality and then get to work. Here's a truth most people overlook. Rejection isn't just an obstacle, it's a skill that can be developed. Just like building muscle at the gym, resilience to rejection is something you can strengthen through purposeful, repeated exposure. I call this rejection exposure therapy. Start small, ask for a discount at your favorite cafe, request an upgrade on your next flight, or apply for a job just above your current level. The goal isn't for every ask to succeed, but for you to become comfortable hearing no. Every rejection you face is like adding weight to your mental barbell, training you to handle bigger setbacks without breaking. But here's the mistake most folks make. They try to avoid rejection altogether, which is like trying to lift weights without ever going to the gym. The real key is to change your mindset entirely. Collect rejections like troughs like Jang, a bold entrepreneur who went 100 days straight asking strangers for ridiculous favors to borrow money, plant a flower in someone's yard, or make funny announcements over loudspeakers. Most people said no, but something incredible happened. Rejection lost its sting. It became a game, a challenge instead of a personal attack. When you get used to collecting rejections, you realize they're not about your worth, they're just responses you can file away and forget if you're consistently improving. It's all about the process, not just the outcome. Keep working, keep trying, and eventually you'll get the result that rejection was blocking you from. Let's also look at some famous rejection stories that changed the world, proof that setbacks can pave the way for greatness. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the very company he founded. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Oprah was let go from her first TV job because she was too emotionally invested in her stories. And Stephen King's first novel, Carrie, was rejected 24 times before finally being published. Does this story sound familiar? Well, look what happened next. Jobs returned to Apple to launch the iPhone. Disney built his empire. Oprah became one of the most influential media figures, and Stephen King became a literary legend. The secret? They faced rejection head-on, viewed it as part of the process, threw the setbacks away, and kept moving forward. That's why we remember their names. They refused to let rejection define their limits. Sometimes someone will reject you and they might even have a good reason. That's valuable feedback. It's a sign that you're getting information you can use. But here's the trick. You need to walk the line. Don't be so emotionally open that a harsh word crushes your spirit, but also not so closed off that you can't learn from others at all. When feedback is genuinely helpful, it's specific and actionable, like your presentation was good, but I got lost when you explained your reasoning. That's constructive. On the other hand, vague or dismissive feedback like it just wasn't a good fit isn't helpful at all. Pay attention to the way feedback is delivered. Constructive criticism focuses on behavior or actions you can change, attacking your approach, not your character. Destructive feedback, in contrast, attacks your worth or attributes that are outside your control. If someone's feedback is based on prejudice or personal bias, take it with a grain of salt. You should also be cautious about accepting advice from people who lack success in the area you're trying to improve. For instance, your uncle who's been in the same job for 20 years probably isn't the best source for advice on switching careers. Or your friend who's been single for years might not be the best person to guide your love life. If someone is too emotionally charged, angry, frustrated, or upset, they're probably not in the best place to give helpful feedback. Wait until they're calmer or seek someone else. And resist the urge to take advice that contradicts your core values. If someone suggests you compromise your integrity just to gain something, that's definitely bad advice. Also, be cautious of feedback that pushes you to spend money or make sacrifices just to satisfy someone else's agenda. If someone is asking you for money or favors under the guise of advice, question their motives. The golden rule here: feedback is only valuable if it comes from someone whose opinion you genuinely respect and would seek out intentionally. If you keep practicing accepting rejection, I promise you'll get better at it. Start with small asks like the CAF discount or a job application you feel slightly underqualified for. Collect those no's and see how they strengthen your resilience. Each rejection becomes a stepping stone, a way to fortify your mental muscles so you're less afraid of the word no. When feedback comes with rejection and is constructive, use it to improve. If it's not, simply move on to your next attempt. Between each try, take a moment to reflect. What patterns am I seeing? What adjustments can I make to improve my chances next time? Keep that steady momentum. Get a little better with each effort. The Stoics divided life's aspects into three categories: what's good, virtue; what's bad, vice; and what's indifferent, everything else. Within that indifferent category, some things like health, wealth, or success are naturally preferred but shouldn't be the source of your happiness or misery because they're outside of your complete control. When facing repeated attempts at a goal, focus less on outcomes, which involve luck, timing, and other people's decisions, and more on the process, something you have total control over. Whether it's love, work, or creative pursuits, that's always the smarter approach. Remember this: every rejection statistically gets you closer to success. In sales, they call this the law of averages. In life, it's the law of persistence. Your goal isn't to completely avoid rejection, it's to get through it faster than anyone else. You'll need to compete, surpass obstacles, and relentlessly push to get the things you want. In the end, life itself is a kind of school for virtue. If you become better at handling rejection and adversity, that will shine through. Others will notice your growth. Each race or challenge becomes a way to prove your strength and resilience, and not just to others, but to yourself. So lift your head high and compete fiercely for the victories you deserve. Stay at it long enough and you will win. That's the plan. Right now, you've got everything you need: the tools and the mindset to transform rejection into fuel for your growth. Remember, when someone says no, they're often basing that on their limited perspective, their current needs, or even poor judgment. You don't have to accept their view as the final truth. As the master of your own mind, you get to decide what rejection means. Decide it doesn't matter at all. Then it truly doesn't. You can practice getting better by starting small, asking for a discount, requesting an upgrade, applying for a job beyond your current skills. Collect these no's as trophies, each one making you stronger, more resilient, and less afraid of rejection's sting. When you receive feedback along with rejection, be selective. Trust advice only from those who have skin in the game and can give you specific, actionable insights. Ignore the risk those who don't know your field or don't have success to share. Use every rejection as rocket fuel for your improvement. When someone points out where you can do better, work on it. If their feedback isn't constructive, forget it and move on to the next attempt. Take a pause after each rejection. Reflect. How can I improve? What should I do differently next time? Commit yourself to becoming the best version of who you already are. And above all, embrace competition. It's inevitable. Approach it with respect for your fellow competitors, but keep your eyes on your own growth. The Stoic lesson is clear. While you can't always control the results, you absolutely control how you react. Success isn't guaranteed, but effort is. Rejection may come, but how you handle it, that's always within your power. So step into life's arena, learn to handle rejection, and keep moving forward. Keep pushing, keep trying, and eventually, victory will be yours. Your future self is counting on it.